Good afternoon. Thanks for being here. I'd like to start with some brief introductions first. Over here we have Mayor Jim Donchis, our Emergency Management Director Emily Marticello, and then we have Assistant Chiefs Adam Pouliot, Assistant Chief Eric Tremblay, and myself, Chief of Department Steve Buxton. So I have a brief statement that I'm going to read to you, and then the Emergency Management Director and the Mayor will make some remarks, and then we'll take a few questions for you. So yesterday at approximately 2:15, Nashua Fire Rescue responded to reported ruptured natural gas line at 440 Amherst Street. This is the Greater Nashua Mental Health Facility. Crews arrived on scene to reports of heavy smell of natural gas and a loud hissing sound. Firefighters immediately began investigating and taking steps to mitigate the hazards. Tragically, within minutes of our arrival, a natural gas explosion occurred. As a result of that explosion, 3 Nashua firefighters were injured and the building caught fire. First and foremost, I want to speak about our injured members. All 3 firefighters were transported to a hospital with significant non-life-threatening injuries. 1 member was treated and discharged last evening. 2 were held overnight for observation. And we are thankful for the outstanding care they are receiving, and we are grateful that their injuries are not to be considered life-threatening. Our thoughts are with them and their families who are with them at the hospital. Following the explosion, the incident rapidly escalated. Mutual aid departments from surrounding communities responded to assist with fire suppression, evacuations, and station coverage. Eventually, 4 alarms were transmitted to control the incident. Approximately 60 occupants safely evacuated from the building. Nearby roadways were closed for an extended period of time, and utility crews worked to secure and ultimately shut down the damaged gas line. The fire was brought under control by approximately 6 p.m. last evening, and companies remain on scene to this time. The building is considered at this point to be a total loss. The investigation into the incident is now underway and will be a coordinated effort between federal agencies, the New Hampshire State Fire Marshal's Office, with the assistance of the Nashua Fire Department, Nashua Police Department, utility representatives, and other partner agencies. At this time, all aspects of the incident are under investigation, including whether falling ice may have contributed to damaging a gas line. It is important to allow the investigators the time and space needed to conduct a thorough and comprehensive investigation, and we will provide updates to you as appropriate. Before I conclude, I want to share an important public safety message to the community. With the recent weather conditions, we are urging residents and property owners to be mindful of ice accumulation on building utilities. Large sheets of ice can fall from roofs and cause serious damage to gas meters, gas lines, or other utility connections. If you see ice buildup above a gas meter or a utility line, do not attempt to remove it yourself. Keep people clear of the area and contact your local utility provider. If you ever smell gas or hear a hissing sound related to gas, leave the area immediately and call 911 from a safe location. I'd like to take the opportunity to thank our mutual aid partners, the Nashua Police Department, Nashua Emergency Management, AMR Nashua, all the utility crews, and the hospital staff for their professionalism and rapid response to our needs. Most importantly, I want to recognize the courage and dedication of our firefighters who put themselves in harm's way to protect this community each and every day. That's all I have at this point in time. I'll turn it over to Emily to make a brief statement, and we'll save questions for the end, please.
Thank you, Chief. We forgot my step stool, so hopefully you can see me. But I'm Emily Marticello. I'm the Director of Emergency Management here in the city of Nashua. At the time that this incident occurred, I was fortunate enough to actually be at our fire alarm communications center. As the information came into dispatch, it was clear that we had a quickly evolving incident. As the chiefs just mentioned, it escalated very quickly. This required very responsive emergency messaging with the information we had at the time. Based on our alerting procedure, we identified that we needed to quickly tell the public what was happening and what to do. Given the location on a busy street where we have a lot of traffic, all of the businesses in the area, and the transient nature of people visiting, we determined it was best to send an alert to the entire city about the gas and the fire and what to do. After sending the alert to the city, we were notified that it went beyond the city of Nashua, so I'm sure many people did receive the alert outside of the city of Nashua. We're working right now with the state of New Hampshire Department of Emergency Communications, who runs the alerting system, to investigate how this happened and how we can safeguard that from happening in the future. But I have to say, I'm very proud at how fast we sent out an alert and how fast we notified the public what to do. We were overwhelmed with 911 calls, both reporting the fire because of the smoke traveling so far, and also folks asking what to do. So it was really important for our communication center and our dispatchers for me to kind of cut down on the calls by giving people the information they needed. I want to thank the public who heeded that warning. Folks avoided the area. They sheltered in place. They waited for more instruction, and we really appreciate that. We know it took a long time to get folks out of the area, and so we thank everybody for their patience and their cooperation and for following the direction of emergency officials. At that point, I went to the command post to support Chief Buxton and the team down there, and it was quickly gathered that we needed to do full accountability. As the chief said, we had approximately 60 people who evacuated in a hurry, and it's really important in this situation that we really account for everybody down to the last person. So we worked with the Greater Nashua Mental Health along with the Nashua Police Department to do a full accounting of every person that was in that building. And as you heard, it took time. It was not a process to be rushed. We could not miss anyone. So we took our time and we thoroughly vetted those lists. I want to thank the Nashua Police Department. They did an excellent job making sure we cross-checked every car, person, log that we had of who was in that building, and we successfully confirmed that everybody made it out. We also called in our partners from the American Red Cross. It was very cold that night. We had a lot of responders on scene. American Red Cross, with the help of Chick-fil-A, and I want to thank them, they set up canteening operations and fed about 60 of our responders on scene that night. They also supported the evacuation center that was set up and the folks at Greater Nashua Mental Health. So thank you to our Red Cross partners who were on scene immediately. I want to say this was a citywide response. As the chief mentioned, everybody who we needed showed up. DPW came with salt. You know, this is what we do in the city of Nashua. We have large-scale emergencies. We work together. We coordinate and use all the resources we have available in the city. And again, I want to thank everybody who came out and supported us that night. And with that, I would like to turn over to the mayor for his comments.
Well, first I want to say that Nashuans, the people of Nashua, are thinking and praying for the 3 firefighters who were injured, and we are hoping for a speedy recovery and hoping that they get out of the hospital as soon as possible. Beyond that, I would like to say that, again, our emergency response team, of course, the firefighters on the front line, but also our police department, Emily Marticello, who you heard from, who's the emergency management director and department, and also Public Works, all responded to this and worked effectively together to minimize the damage caused by this very serious fire. We are very fortunate in the city to have such dedicated and competent people who respond to the emergencies. We have a lot of brave firefighters and police officers, and we feel very, 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 very thankful for that. We have had, now this is our 3rd big incident in the last few months. We had a big fire down on Vine Street, which is not far from here, in early December, and then last fall we had the shooting at Sky Meadow. And in all 3 of these cases, our emergency personnel have worked very effectively together to develop a really great response. So we're proud of our emergency personnel. We're just glad that no one was killed. And again, back to the beginning, we're really hoping for our firefighters to recover as soon as possible. Thank you very much.
All right, at this time, we can open up to questions.
Chief, just wondering, your firefighters arrived on the scene to the smell of gas, and were they physically inside the building when it exploded, or were they on the approach? And were they pushed back, or what happened to them?
I believe they were on the exterior of the building when the explosion occurred. I don't have all of the details of what took place upon their arrival, but what we know at this point in time leads me to believe they were on the exterior of the building in the area of the gas line.
And they issued a mayday call for help. They were trapped under the debris. Can you just take us through those harrowing moments, and what's that like for a chief to hear that you have firefighters in trouble?
Yeah, so mayday call is, our basically international signal that, they need help. So when you hear that go out over the radio, obviously it's a distress call. All units head in that direction. The company officer had asked for the assignment to be filled out, calling more resources seconds before the mayday call was issued. So the resources were already sent in that direction. So
I guess I was wondering, as the chief, to hear the efforts, the heroic efforts of your fire department and those firefighters to move in like that, what is it like for you as the chief to know that you guys are in trouble?
It's very humbling to work amongst some of the very best professionals that I've ever been around. Nashua Fire Department, the city of Nashua in particular, invests heavily in public safety. Nashua Fire Department stands right at the top of that. So I'm very thankful that we have the people we have. Obviously a lot of anxious moments early on in the incident. The second due company performed admirably in getting accountability, pulling those members out from underneath the debris in a very calm and precise manner. And then it's just a matter of getting our arms around the incident that is very quickly spiraling out of control and pulling it into control. The members of IFF Local 789 did a great job on scene and performed and exceeded the high expectations that we set for them every single day, and I couldn't be more proud of them.
Chief, this sounded like a very successful operation. Can you talk about the training that your department does, as well as the multi-agency training that you guys all do to make sure outcomes look like this?
Yeah, certainly. So extensive amount of time in the life of a firefighter is spent training. Preparing for response, actually going on responses, reviewing the responses we go on, and figuring out ways that we could do things better. Thanks to Emily, we do a lot of coordinating training here within the city, and as the mayor pointed out, we've had several significant incidents in the past month and a half, 2 months, and that coordinated training and the investment made by the city that has been going on for years. This is not something that we recently started. This training has been going on for years. Is the key to our success.
Chief, is the organization cooperating? Had they been maintaining the building before ice dams? Was someone doing any work on the building at the time of the incident pertaining to the gas?
I can't speak to that at this point in time.
Was it the meter that might have gotten hit? Is that the focus of the attention?
I can't speak to that at this point in time.
Chief, can you talk about how quickly the building blew up and the fact that 60 people made it out alive?
Yeah, it's pretty extraordinary when you think about it, that amount of people evacuated the building. Most of them had removed themselves prior to the arrival of the fire department. And if I know a number of you have been up there to the scene, but the explosion itself actually knocked the brick facade off of a good portion of the building. So that's a pretty tremendous force that took place there.
A miracle? Would you call it a miracle?
That many people got out of there with nobody getting killed or injured, besides the firefighters. Yeah, real close to a miracle.
Chief, based on radio traffic, it sounded like you had a lot of water supply issues initially because the hydrants either being frozen or buried. Can you speak to that?
Yep. As you know, we recently experienced a significant amount of snowfall. Here in the city of Nashua, we shovel hydrants. The fire companies go out after the storm and clear the hydrants. The primary hydrant for that incident had been hit by a snowplow, and while at first glance it didn't look like it had an issue, when they began working on it, they realized that it was not going to be a good hydrant, so to speak. The next hydrant they took was on private property, and that also was not sustainable, wind flow water, so they had to pivot and proceed the other way out Amherst Street. So the first hydrant we were able to utilize for water supply was in front of Portland Glass, probably about 500 feet up from the scene.
Chief, do you know how much time there was between the first report of the gas leak and when the explosion actually occurred, like what the time frame was there?
I don't have that information with me currently.
And was it people inside that first felt the gas leak, and what happens to those people that were going to that facility? What do they turn to?
So we did receive, the first report was from somebody inside the facility. I'm not sure I understand the second part of your question.
That attend this facility, where would they go next, and what happens to them?
Yeah.
Emily will field that.
Yeah, I can answer that. So Greater Nashua Mental Health put out information this morning for any of their patients who had appointments for that facility to call them to reschedule. They're taking some time with their staff. Obviously, they were greatly impacted by this incident. They have 2 other facilities that are up and operational. So any patients of Greater Nashua Mental Health who had an appointment, they call them directly, and they're working on getting those appointments rescheduled.
Emily, you mentioned that the alert was sent to other places outside of Nashua. Can you tell us where those towns were that people received the alert?
Yes, it appears that when I sent the alert to the city, it actually ended up going as far as the entire Hillsborough County. So we're investigating with the state Department of 911, who maintains our alerting system, how the alert was able to go out beyond the city boundaries. Again, I issued what's called a wireless emergency alert. And that is, it pings any phone that's in the area that is set. It was set to the city, and again, it looks like it appeared to have gone to the entire county. So we're working on how that happened, but we are just grateful that everybody did get the alert in a timely manner.
Chief, can you talk about the blast itself again? Because it seemed like it happened pretty quickly. So can you just explain, there's a hissing sound, someone smells gas, and then is there an ignition source? What causes the actual physical explosion?
That will all be part of the investigation. The explosion happened minutes after our arrival on scene, and you can imagine travel time and emergency response. That's probably about a 4-minute response for us out in that area. So it's just a matter of the gas, finding an ignition source and the right mixture of gas and air for the explosion to take place. But they'll all be spelled out as part of the investigation, I would assume.
I guess I was wondering, but there would have to be an ignition source because, you know, there could be gas here.
Yep, but that could be a mechanical source within the building, a heating system, a water heater. It could be a multitude of things.
And was there an alarm pulled to get everyone, the evacuation itself of these 60 people? How do you get 60 people out of a building when it's...
I'm not sure if they pulled the alarm or not. I can tell you the alarm system was sounding upon my personal arrival on scene, but I arrived minutes into the incident and the explosion had already taken place.
Was everybody out of the building at the time of the explosion?
We believe so, yes.
Should homeowners and businesses worry? It's been cold for the past week and a half. Everyone knows there's ice on roofs. Can people feel they should sleep okay at night, or should people check something, or what should people do without panicking?
Yeah, people should check to see if they have ice that's built up on their utilities or above their utilities, and if they do have ice built up, they should contact their local utility provider to come out and take a look at it and help them remove it. Any last questions? Thank you for your time today. Appreciate you coming.
You've been listening in there to fire officials giving an update on that natural gas explosion at the Greater Nashua Mental Health Center in New Hampshire that injured 3 firefighters. We do now know those firefighters are expected to survive, and a few people who were initially unaccounted for, they have been found. 7 Steve Cooper there finding out those 3 firefighters that were hurt. Luckily, outside of the building there, they are going to be okay, but they have significant injuries. One was discharged from the hospital last night.
Yeah, the cause is still under investigation, but we'll have much more coming up on 7 News at noon. We'll see you then.